We are in the same stand as we were last night. I decided not to stand this morning because when I checked trail cameras yesterday, there was an 8-point that was showing up every 5 days here in front of the stand. It could just be a coincidence, but I decided to stay here in case he does it again because today is the 5th day since he's shown up. My dad is hunting about 200 yards to the right of me where I shot that buck yesterday morning. He's hunting back there. I was gonna give that stand a break, so he decided to go in it to see if he could see something. It's about 28 degrees this morning. It's a little warmer than yesterday, but only by about 5 degrees. There is a little wind coming out of the west, but it's blowing behind me, so there's a ridge that drops down behind me about 50 yards, but my thermal is going to be rising this morning, so I don't think my scent will be a bad thing this morning. And then I got the ozonics running in case, so I think we're all good. There's a deer in front of me. Okay, well, I'm gonna get the camera on her and let's get this on started already. Well, it's about 8:30 here. Ever since I saw that doe while I was talking to you guys this morning, it's been non-stop action. There was that doe that was feeding out in front of me on the acorns out on that ridge, and then that buck that ended up coming right past me was grunting behind her and ended up chasing her a little bit. And then he wasn't giving me good video, so I grunted, and he was young, so it's not gonna educate him. He's too dumb. The way he's acting, I knew he'd fall for it. So I grunted. I pointed off to my right, and he walked right under me and went to my right, so I know he heard that. And then 3 does came running by before I grunted, and I don't know what spooked them. They ran behind me and then ran back in front of me. I know I videoed it, but I wasn't zoomed in because there were just so many deer running around. I figured I wouldn't get them if I zoomed in, so I just kept it zoomed out. So I don't know how well you guys can see them, but I know you can hear them. And then that doe bedded down to my left for about 30 minutes, and then another 2.5-year-old buck came from in front of me off of that ridge this morning from the pine thicket. And he didn't come over here. He looked at the doe and then went up to my left, up on that top of the other ridge, and out in an open field. So the leaves are falling, as you can see. But yeah, it's not too bad of a start. It's kind of slowed down since that doe's bedded down left. But hopefully it picks back up here in a little bit. Alright, it's only about 9:15. It's only been about 45 minutes since I talked to you guys last, but that was the deer that I missed yesterday. It must be me that he likes, because my dad's hunting in the stand that I shot him out of yesterday. Oh, shot at him yesterday. And this is the first time I've hunted this stand this year. Here he comes. Something in my eyes, so I'm trying to get it out. He came, I stood up to stretch my legs. And I was sitting there, and my camera arm's been acting weird all day. It keeps wanting to what's the word? Turn over, I guess. When I turn the camera to follow a deer or something. So I was messing with that, and I finally got it fixed. And then I look up, and here comes a buck. And where he came from, it's a bedding area where he came from, but the exact spot where I seen him, it's really thick. There's a whole bunch of limbs in my way, I could barely see him. So I seen the side of his antlers, and I thought it was like a 2.5-year-old again. And then he got beside me, and I was like, wait, all the 2.5-year-old I've seen, I went to my left. This buck's coming from our right. So then I was like, oh, this must be a new buck. Well, he cuts to go right in front of me. And by the time I realize it's him, you guys can hear the squeak that he heard. That's when I realized it was him. He was right on top of me. And he stopped right in my shooting lane, but I just stood up, and obviously, my chair squeaked. my chair doesn't squeak when I stand up. It squeaks when you like fold it up. And when I stood up, I have my grunt call in my pocket, and the string that attaches to the grunt call caught the side of my chair and raised it up a little bit, and it squeaked. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know how I'm gonna kill this bug. And then he went past me, because it kind of spooked him a little bit. You guys seen? I think he knew I was here again. He kind of ran past me, and I let him go about 50 yards. And then I grunted, and he lifted his head up, but then he just kept going. So I was like, alright, so we're gonna try to rattle this bucket again. And I started rattling, and here he comes running in. That part wasn't on video, because he ran behind me. I don't know which way he's gonna go. The only part you guys are probably gonna see is the part where he's in front of me. But he ran behind me, and it looked like he's gonna come out in front of me, but they changed his mind, changed directions. I think it's because he knew I was here. And then he stayed behind me for a little bit, and I think I made a mistake by rattling again. But I was just trying to be aggressive because this bug's aggressive, and he didn't spook. When I rattled the second time, he started coming to me, and then he stopped. And then he ended up putting his nose to the ground and running off to my right. So I'm hoping he caught the scent of where a doe's walked by and took off after that. And it wasn't him spooked. So it's a fourth encounter of that bug. The good news is he's still hanging around here. Bad news is I might have been too aggressive, but I don't know, it's just hard not to be aggressive when the bug's aggressive. But yeah, it's only 9:30, so hopefully we sit here and see some. Dad's seen 3 deer, all does. So not much action over there for him, but you know, you never know when it can change. So yeah, we'll sit here and hopefully we'll see some more. Alright, that's gonna do it for the morning, huh? Ended up seeing 5 does and 3 bucks. Not bad of a morning. Dad ended up seeing a few more does, and he might have seen a buck. I don't know. He texted me and told me what had happened. He told me to grunt a little bit because there were some bucks pushing does. So I don't know if he's seen them. I'm assuming he's seen at least a does. So we had another doe come by after I talked about that buck. She came jogging from my left like she was getting chased, and went in front of me and out to my right, following that logging road. But never seen a buck with her, never heard any other deer, so I'm not real sure what happened there. But I think we are going to hunt a new stand this evening. It's down by where the 9-point came from and went to. It's down where Dad heard some chasing and running this morning. It's about 50 yards from the scrapes that 9-point made a couple nights ago that I was talking about. So it's actually where I actually saw a new stand. I just remembered this is where that big 9-point came in after dark. I could get him on video. That is a stand I'm hunting. So we're gonna get everything packed up, and we'll see you this afternoon. Alright, it's about 2:45, and we are set up on the stand that we had that encounter with a buck right after dark that I didn't get on film that I talked about. I think it was last weekend. But I pulled the camera that was in front of the stand I had a mock scrape here. It had a vine over it, an artificial vine, and the deer didn't, like the first 3 weeks I had it up, the deer didn't seem to pay any attention to it. They kind of just walked past it or didn't even come to it. But here in the last week, I've been getting a lot of pictures of deer coming by it and checking it out, and I cleaned it off a week ago, and it looked freshly cleared off when I got here, so I checked the card, and the buck that I told you guys about, I've been talking a lot about since I said I was hunting to stay this evening. The buck that came in right after dark. I've been believing that was the big 9-point that I missed and been trying to kill lately, but I believe now that it is not, because I remember what that deer looked like when it came in last weekend, and I got a picture of a buck the day I seen that buck Saturday night last weekend, and there was a picture of him Sunday morning at like 5 o'clock a.m. And it looked just like the buck I seen, same spot, so I believe that was him. He's a big, tall 8-point, which I told you guys that's what it was. So yeah, I'll mark down the encounter with the big 9 to 3 times now. I think that's correct. No, 4. 4, not 5. But still, that big 9's been showing up almost too much now. Not getting a shot. He's kind of playing games with me. But I've never really had this kind of history with the buck before, and I feel like it's just getting started. Hopefully I can end it soon. But I think I'm going to come up with a name for this deer just because of so much history. And if somehow he does make it in next year, I think that'll be fun too, and hopefully I'll get his sheds, but hopefully we don't have to go that far and I can kill him this year. It's about 45 degrees. It's warmed up about 10 degrees since sunrise this morning. I expect the deer to move, but again, it's an evening hunt, and the wind is about 10 to 15 mile an hour, and I think we all know how that's been this year. So my hopes aren't too high, but you never know. But yeah, we're gonna sit in here and hopefully somebody's come by and check the scrapes, and we'll get a shot on. Hopefully the big 9. Well, that's gonna wrap up the evening out here. Overall, it wasn't too bad of a set. We seen 4 does. One of them came running past me, so I don't know what spooked her. But yeah, I wouldn't call this set too bad. I mean, compared to the past evening hunts, it was amazing, because we actually seen more than 2 deer. But I hope the videos turned out good this evening and this morning, but especially this evening because it was so thick. It was hard to stay on the deer and not lose them. I'm gonna bring up something from the past I talked about for a little bit. I don't know if you guys remember, but I talked about the big 9-point, thinking he was the buck that was in our food plot that I videoed last year. And I had come to a conclusion that it was not the same deer. But looking at pictures from last year or that video from last year, because that's all I had of it, and all the pictures and videos from this year, I noticed last weekend that he had white ankles right before you get to his hooves, they're like white. So I went back and looked at the video, and that deer's ankles are white too, same markings. I knew the racks were similar, and this year's bigger, but I just couldn't tell. But I do think that is the same deer. Now that I think about it, or now that I was thinking about it, they both showed up around the 1st of November and stuck around until end of November. So if it's the same deer, then they both have the same fall ranges. So I kind of put the pieces together, and I think I came to the conclusion that that is the same deer. And that actually kind of made me think about passing him, just because now that I've seen him this year, I know that he's sticking around here in the fall. So I know he'll be back next year if he makes it. But that's a problem with my neighbors now. I just can't pass up that deer, and I wish I could. But I want to shoot him, but then I don't. So hopefully we see him, but it's just at a distance. But yeah, that's gonna wrap up this episode. Be sure to tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's only gonna be a morning hunt because I have things to do tomorrow afternoon in Louisville. So it's gonna be a short video tomorrow, but hopefully it's a good one, and hopefully we put a big buck down. So thanks for watching.